Hi guys and welcome back to the Mighty Blues. My name is of course Cameron and welcome back today to another live stream. It is the live game preview ahead of tomorrow's game against West Bromwich Albion at Goodison Park. The first home game of the 2020-2021 Premier League season. 12:30 kickoff. Up nice and early for this one, but Everton are playing West Bromwich Albion, who of course struggled in their opening game of the season. They played at home to Leicester City and got beat 3-0. I think they conceded 2 penalties on that day as well, and it was a pretty comfortable performance by Leicester. Meanwhile, Everton beat Spurs 1-0 in a fantastic game of football, which was completely dominated by Carlo Ancelotti's Everton side in North London. You know, we absolutely dominated the midfield. We had all of the ball for the majority of the game. Spurs give us very little to scare us or to make us worry, and of course Dominic Calvert-Lewin getting the vital goal, a fantastic header just after half time. And Everton's new midfield of Alan, James Rodriguez and Abdoulaye Doucouré all starting in that game and all looking absolutely fantastic. So we go on to our second game of the Premier League season, obviously off the back of that win at Spurs and off the back of a win against Salford City in the Carabao Cup midweek as well. That was actually the first home game of the season, but this is the first home Premier League game of the season. And of course the players that played in that game against Salford, 99% of them are probably not likely to start this game tomorrow afternoon. So this is a big opportunity, this, for Everton Football Club to really keep the momentum going. It's fantastic getting a result against the top 6 side, whether it be at home or away, and we haven't had many results against top 6 sides away from home in recent years. You know, the last time we beat a side like that was 2013 against Manchester United. So it was absolutely brilliant last week, and it was fantastic to see us go out there and get that win and perform in the way we did. But it's important that we do that tomorrow as well. It's important that when we're playing sides like West Brom who've struggled, you know, when we're playing sides like West Brom who have just come into the Premier League, who are newly promoted, that we go out there with the same sort of attitude and with the same mentality. Not a mentality of, right, okay, we're playing a side that are a little bit easier or didn't do well last week or have only just been promoted into the Premier League, so we don't really have to try as hard or we don't really have to give as much effort. We need to go in with the exact same attitude and the exact same team spirit as we did last week against Tottenham Hotspur. And Carlo Ancelotti said that today in his pre-game press conference. He spoke about how, you know, performances and shapes and tactics and players and substitutions will win you games of football, but realistically what will win you the most is the spirit of the team. And he actually turned around and said that win last week was because of the spirit of the team and the fact that they didn't give up and they never wanted to stop, and he carried on going and he kept on going until they won that game of football. And you know, it's absolutely imperative that we go out with the same attitude tomorrow and we go out with the same mentality for tomorrow's game, because we can't just turn up and think, oh right, okay, these weren't that great last week, they've only just been promoted into the league because and therefore we'll wipe the floor with them, because that's not how football works. And you know, West Bromwich Albion are a team that very physical, quite a strong team, and they'll be looking to bounce back. Ultimately they didn't perform well last week. They were beaten at home by a Leicester side who again weren't even at their best. I think it's fair to say. So West Brom will be wanting to bounce back, they'll be wanting to turn up and make a good account of themselves at the very least. They'll be wanting to give 110%, show a lot of effort, show a lot of heart, show a lot of desire, and it's important that Everton turn up and not only match that heart and match that desire and match that energy, but also turn up and allow our quality to shine through. You like to Richarlison. I'm hoping for a big game from Richarlison tomorrow. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, obviously James Rodriguez play at Goodison Park for the first time alongside Alan and Abdoulaye Doucouré. We're going to go through my predicted starting 11 as well, of course, but like I said, this is a big chance for us to keep the momentum going. Look, let's forget what can happen if we win the game. Obviously we're the first game on in the day. We 12 kickoff and we won last week, so we all know what can happen if we win. We all know the eventuality of what could happen, but let's forget that, because we were in a very similar situation to this last season where we said, oh, you know what could happen if we beat Aston Villa away from home, and we ended up getting our asses kicked 2-0 by a side who in Aston Villa who were in a very similar situation to West Brom are at the moment. They were struggling, they'd only just been promoted, they couldn't get results, the strikers couldn't score. It was a little bit later on, I think it was the 3rd or 4th game or something in the season, but it was a very similar scenario. So I don't really want to talk or think too much about what could happen if we win. I just want to focus on winning the game of football, because it's important that we do that, and it's important that we keep the momentum going. We play Wednesday as well, obviously, against Fleetwood. We then play again on Saturday against next Saturday, that is, against Crystal Palace. If we beat Fleetwood, we'll play again the following Wednesday. So we need to keep the momentum going. We need to keep the performances going, and we need to get the results. And Carlo Ancelotti spoke today in his pre-game press conference about how important it is to go out there and get a result tomorrow, and how important it is to go out there and put a performance in like we did against Spurs. And if we do that, I think we win quite comfortably, because I don't think West Bromwich Albion will be able to keep up with our quality and keep up with our ability in the on the field if we can put in the same performance as we did last week against Tottenham Hotspur. But it's important that we do that, and it's important that we don't go out and we think, right, these aren't that good, so we'll just blow them out the park anyway. We don't have to try, because that's when that's when everything sort of falls to bits. So we'll go straight into it then. Why mess about? Big thanks to everybody in the live comments. Really do appreciate everybody for getting involved. Of course, a little bit of an earlier live stream today. The sun is absolutely cracking. It's flags outside. I hope you all are having a fantastic day. If you're enjoying, don't forget to hit that like button. It does only take a second. Share the live stream. Let's try and get as many people here as possible. Wayne says negative Cam. They're shit. We're top of the league. I'm not. It's not a negative thing. It's just I don't want to say it, because I'm pretty sure on the preview to the Aston Villa game last year, I sat and spoke about how we could be top of the league and it'd be fantastic, and then we got our asses kicked. So I just don't want to talk about it, because I don't want to jinx anything. But yeah, let's get into the live comments. Like I said, if you're enjoying, please do hit the like button, share the live stream. Let's try and get as many people involved as we possibly can. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe as well. Really do appreciate each and every one of you in the live comments. We will get involved with those in just a moment. But I've gone for exactly the same starting 11 that started the game against Tottenham Hotspur, and I think that Carlo Ancelotti will go with the exact same starting 11 that played against Tottenham Hotspur. Now, don't get me wrong, there was a couple of really good performers on Wednesday against Salford City. Obviously, it was in the Carabao Cup, and it was against the side, a League Two side who obviously didn't have as much quality as West Brom will have, or Tottenham would have. But you look at your Niles Nkunku, you look at your Anthony Gordon, players like that who really did put in a good performance. And for me, I don't think they'll start in tomorrow's game, but I think they'll be knocking on the door. And I think it'd be very unfortunate if both of those players aren't featured on the bench for tomorrow's game, because I think they've done a lot on Wednesday, and arguably they deserve to be given their opportunity if it does come ahead. But I've gone for Jordan Pickford in goal. Obviously fantastic against Tottenham Hotspur. Hopefully this is a new chapter for Jordan Pickford in his Everton career. Hopefully he's turned the page in the book. Hopefully he's ready to go out there now and perform consistently week in, week out, because consistency is a massive word for Everton. We've spoke for years and years about how one week we can turn up and beat anybody, and how the next week we can turn up and be beaten by anybody, and that is just not good enough. No side that is aiming to finish in European places, no side that is aiming to challenge for the league or challenge in the Champions League like Everton are wanting to, can afford to be that inconsistent. We need to have a consistent level of performance every single week, and Jordan Pickford's career so far at Everton has sort of mirrored those inconsistencies of the football club. One week he has a fantastic game, and the next week he has a shocking game. Let's hope, like I said, that this is a turn chapter for Jordan Pickford. Let's hope that it's a new page in the book, and let's hope that performance last week is something that we can look at to come for coming weeks, because he was absolutely fantastic. He didn't do anything he didn't need to. He didn't do anything stupid. Every time the ball come near him, he either picked it up if he could, or he got it away with his fists, or he used his feet well when he needed to, and he made a couple of really good saves as well. So let's hope Jordan Pickford can continue that level of performance and put another good one in tomorrow afternoon. Back forward then, I've gone for Seamus Coleman at right back, playing his 250th Premier League game. I've gone for Michael Keane, Yerry Mina, both at centre half, and Luca Dean at left back. Now this is probably the easiest back line you'll pick all season, not just because of the fact that we beat Spurs with it last week, and because they were pretty much, obviously, Michael Keane started the game against Salford City, and Luca Dean come on after about 25 minutes because of Jared Branthwaite's injury, but also because Carlo Ancelotti's already said today that Seamus Coleman will start. He was asked about whether Seamus Coleman will feature for his 250th Premier League experience. He said, I can tell you now he'll start the game, so barring any injuries or mad situations prior to the game, it looks like Seamus Coleman will start. We haven't got any other centre half, so it's going to have to be Michael Keane and Yerry Mina. I'm not saying that in a negative way. It's like, it's going to have to be them. I don't want it to be them, but it's going to have to be them, because they were absolutely fantastic against Tottenham Hotspur last week. And to be fair, Michael Keane put in a really solid performance against Salford City in the Carabao Cup as well. So I'm happy that those two will be in there, but like I said, there's not much choice, there's not many options. Obviously you've got young Lewis Gibson, but I just really don't think that Lewis Gibson will be featured in much in the Premier League this season, unless of course it's forced through injury. Luca Dean at left back. Now a lot of people will probably say, again, maybe Luca Dean could be a potential for covering at centre half if we need be. I'm not saying that people will think it should happen tomorrow, but I've seen a couple of people on social media today talking about the potential of Luca Dean slotting into a centre back position, if Mason Holgate Branthwaite or Jared Branthwaite don't return to fitness, and we end up having that issue, and we can't bring in another centre-half in the transfer market. I thought Luca Dean played really, really well when he had to slot into centre-half. Don't get me wrong, he wasn't put under an awful lot of pressure, and he wasn't really challenged an awful lot because Salford City didn't really, create an awful lot of opportunities or get forward. But, I thought he'd done really, really well in that position. And Niles Nkounkou, of course, was absolutely fantastic at left back. He was brilliant. He was absolutely brilliant for the entire 90 minutes, by the way. From the first minute, when he was getting the ball, he was bringing it forward, he was using his pace, he was using his strength, to the very, very last minute when he was still doing that. He was consistent throughout the whole game. But I do think Luca Dean will start this game, like I said, not only because of the fantastic performance against Tottenham Hotspur last week, the assist, of course, that Luca Dean got, and I just don't see Carlo Ancelotti changing this side in case it's forced. So that's my back line: Jordan Pickford in goal, Seamus Coleman, Michael Keane, Yerry Mina, and Luca Dean. Going into the midfield, then again, same midfield: Alan, Abdoulaye Doucouré, and Andre Gomes. All three of them were absolutely fantastic against Spurs. Controlled that midfield, passing was on point. Don't think we, I think we maybe misplaced 2 passes in the entire game. Abdoulaye Doucouré in the middle there, such a physical presence, somebody that picks the ball up and runs with it, very tall, gets on the end of every header, breaks the play up well, box-to-box style, like I said, bulldozers through people and can either create something with a fantastic pass or fire it towards goal and create an opportunity for himself. Alan next to him, probably one of the, if not, the key performer last week against Spurs. That he's that type of player that just is in there to break up the players, in there to frustrate the opposition midfielders, in there to throw the challenges in, to put himself in front of the ball, to make himself an absolute nuisance, and he done that fantastically well against Tottenham Hotspur last week. So Alan and Abdoulaye Doucouré in there, Andre Gomes as well. Obviously, all three of them were rested completely. I don't even think Andre Gomes was on the bench on Wednesday, correct me if I'm wrong. Abdoulaye Doucouré and Alan both were, but they never featured, of course, so I think Andre Gomes will be in there again. Once again, fantastic performance by Andre Gomes last week. Really, really solid. Looked a lot better next to 2 midfield players who seemed to know what they were doing and seemed to be able to control a game and get their foot on a game and were wanting the ball and were wanting to give it and were wanting to go and weren't scared of where the ball was going to go or what they had to do with it. They were just confident in their own ability, and Andre Gomes looked fantastic next to them. Sorry, got a little bit of a tickly throat. So I'll put Andre Gomes in there in the centre of the midfield, and then of course the front three: James Rodriguez, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and Richarlison. Pretty self-explanatory this. Yes, okay. Anthony Gordon maybe in with a shout because of how well he played last week. How well he played midweek, and obviously the creativity of him and getting forward, and he hit the post about 2 or 3 times. But I think given James Rodriguez's performance last week, he was absolutely fantastic, just so confident on the ball, so cool, so calm, so collected. His first touch was utterly immense. Every time the ball come near him, no matter how fast it was put to him, no matter where it was put to him, he touched it, he got it down, he used his body. He was also quite physical as well. He was getting involved with the challenges, he was throwing his body in the way, he was throwing tackles in. And of course, creative-wise, he was that creative spark in the middle. He was absolutely running the strings in the middle of the park for Everton. So James Rodriguez makes his first Premier League and overall appearance at Goodison Park for me tomorrow. Richarlison on the other side, the left-hand side. Big game for Richarlison this. Hopefully he can sort of get his head down and open his scoring for the 2020-2021 Premier League season, of course. Quite a frustrating game for him last week. Don't get me wrong, I thought his performance was absolutely fantastic, but I think he would have been frustrated by, certainly the miss where he rounded the keeper and couldn't quite get his feet, balanced to put it in the back of the net, and other opportunities as well that he had where he was coming in from the left-hand side, coming in from the right-hand side. He had a couple of curlers that just didn't quite go his way, so I think he'll be wanting to get on the score sheet and he'll be wanting to get a start to hit the season positively. And Dominic Calvert-Lewin in the middle, fantastic header against Tottenham. Really, really good goal. Really dominant performance as well. Gets up, wins every ball in the air, controls the ball well, plays it off to other players next to him, Richarlison, James Rodriguez, plays it back to the midfield if need be as well. Yes, okay, in front of goal, he could do with being a little bit more clinical and being able to pick the ball up and run at defenders, but I don't think, considering Moise Keane's performance on Wednesday, I don't think there's any, arguments about Dominic Calvert-Lewin starting this game. So there you go, that's my predicted starting 11, and it's pretty self-explanatory. Sorry that there's no controversy, sorry that there's no, Anthony Gordon in there or whoever. I've just gone with the same starting 11 that beat Spurs last week because I thought it was an absolutely fantastic performance, and I think it would be quite silly to change it, unless forced, unless through injury or a certain circumstance that might happen between now and tomorrow in which one of these players can't start. I think if every single one of these players is fit, Carlo Ancelotti will start them, because like I said, the performance against Spurs was fantastic. The team spirit shown against Spurs was fantastic. The midfield performance was brilliant. We were so dominant. We were in control for the entire game. We were passing it round nicely. We were creating opportunities. So I don't see why we'd change it. And again, like I said, I'm not saying that we go into this game thinking, right, okay, well, we beat Spurs with this team, so automatically we should beat West Brom with this team, because that's not how football works. You've seen teams that have, bottom of the table turn up against sides that are fighting for top four and beat them, because that's just how the Premier League goes. So, I think it's important that we don't write West Brom off. I think it's important that we don't sit here and go, oh, well, we'll beat them anyway because they're not that great. We have to go in there with the right attitude. We have to go in there with the team spirit. And in the same vein as last week, these players should be going into tomorrow's game thinking, right, okay, this is another massive game. Forget what could happen if we win. This is another massive game for keeping the momentum up and continuing this good start to the season. We'll get into the live comments then. Let me know your thoughts on my predicted starting 11. Listen, I think we're all, pretty much in agreement, I would like to say. Carlo Ancelotti did confirm today that other than Mason Holgate and Jared Branthwaite, who of course we already know about, there is no other injuries to the squad. Alex Iwobi has overcome a slight knock and is in contention of being picked for tomorrow's game. Obviously, Jean-Philippe Gbamin is a long-term injury, so he wasn't mentioned. But we know that he's out and he is not going to feature in the game. Let's get into the live comments then. Like I said, let me know your thoughts on the predicted starting 11. Paul Hayes has donated £10. Thank you very much, Paul. Honestly, that means an absolute massive amount to me. I really, really do appreciate it. Honestly, I can't thank you enough. I never ask for donations, but I'm also so grateful whenever we get them. So big thanks, Paul. He says, great show as always, mate. Thank you very much, mate. Really, really do appreciate that. And of course, the donation. Toothy says, Cam, you're a beautiful human being with great character. Thank you very much, mate. Hernandez says, you sound a bit like Brendan Rodgers there. Hernandez says, hope all is well, Cam. I'm not too bad, mate. Hope you're doing well yourself. Sport Botcher says, hey Cam, here today. Thank you very much, mate. Wormy says, Cam lad, how's everyone doing? I'm not too bad. Paul says, loving your work, mate. So nice to start so well for the change. Keep the vids coming. Thank you very much, Paul. I certainly will do. I've got another video going up after this live stream. It's already recorded. It is another weekly news roundup, sort of update video talking about all of the latest Everton news from the last 7 days or so. We talk about James Rodriguez coming in on a free transfer. We talk about the Carabao Cup 4th round draw. We also talk about Kazoo and their pledge to donate £1,000 to Everton in the community for every goal scored by Everton this season. So please do check that out. It's only about 15 minutes long. It'll be going up straight after the live stream. Where are we then? Joel says, let's beat West Brom tomorrow. My prediction is 2-0 and I hope so, Joel. I hope so. We need to go out there and win the game. It's massively important. Very, very big game for Everton. Only the second Premier League game into the season, but it's a very, very big game because we have to keep the momentum going. Sportbot says, Richarlison got a Brazilian call-up, and also where is Sandro and Iwobi? Iwobi is in contention of starting. He's overcome a slight knock. Not sure where Sandro is. Lavovich says, can you see Gordon starting? No, I can't. And it might be a little bit, sly on Anthony Gordon, or a little bit unfortunate for Anthony Gordon, but I just don't see him starting in this side at the moment. Yes, okay, he played fantastically well against Salford, and he's definitely knocking on the door, and I think as soon as somebody drops their performance, Anthony Gordon's the player that comes in and sort of is given that opportunity. But I just don't see why Carlo Ancelotti would, and like I said, unless injury or a forced circumstance, I don't see why Carlo Ancelotti had changed the starting 11 from the one that beat Spurs last week. Liam says, alright, Cam lad, we need to go into this match ruthless, assert our dominance early and show we're the better side. Have to do it with consistency. With these smaller teams, we don't do it enough. You're spot on, and that's something that we should have done on Wednesday. And I know that it was a completely different starting 11 starting that game on Wednesday than it will be tomorrow, but that's what we should have done on Wednesday against Salford. We should have gone out there, asserted our dominance straight away, got 2 or 3 goals in the first 15-20 minutes, and then we could have calmed it down then. And hopefully we go out there with the same sort of mentality as that tomorrow, and going out and respecting our opponents as much as possible, respecting it's the Premier League and that West Bromwich Albion could, put in a heroic performance. In fact, they're probably more than likely going to put in a heroic performance because they need to bounce back after that defeat last week. The last thing West Bromwich Albion will want to do is lose their opening 2 games of the Premier League season, and all of a sudden their momentum is in a negative vein and is going on a negative spiral. They're a side that a lot of people have already tipped to be relegated this season, so they'll want to prove people wrong, and they'll want to get off to a decent start at some point. So they're going to want to come out at Goodison Park and they're going to want to win. It's important that we control the game. We don't do anything stupid. We don't don't give any silly mistakes away, and we're clinical up front. And if we can be clinical up front and we can get a couple of goals in the opening 20 minutes, then I'm confident that we can go on and win this game comfortably. Reece this afternoon, everyone on top of the league if we win. Like I said, I don't really want to mention that. Wayne says, what have I missed, Cam? What's the word on the streets? We sold any Klingon like Walcott? Yeah, we haven't, mate. He also said, have a good weekend, Blues. We'll be top of the league at 2 p.m. tomorrow. I hope so. Sportwatch says, if we beat Fleetwood and West Ham, we get to the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup. We certainly do. Christian says, Crystal Palace is going to be tough. It will be. Carl says, hello Cam, I think we'll win comfortably. I fancy 4-0 for us. I do hope so, Carl. I really do hope so. Sportwatch says, hey, where me? Reece says, reckon we'll get Tamori. I don't know yet. We spoke about Tamori in the weekly news video that'll be going up a little bit later on. Lavit says, I recognise what you say about Pickford. However, I would like to see a new keeper. Fair enough. Craig says, I don't want to talk too soon, but I can't see anything other than an Everton win, to be honest. I think we'll have too much for West Brom. I hope so, mate. Christian says, a new keeper to put pressure on Pickford would be ideal. It certainly would. Wayne says, West Ham at home looks like. Wormy says, thoughts on Tosson and Sandro. Reece says, Sandro will never be forgotten. And Toothy says, did Carla give any updates on Delph, like when he's going to get his arse out the club? No, he just said that everybody's fit except the players I've just mentioned. Lavit says, realistically, do you think we can swap Iwobi for Saha? No, I don't. I just don't think they'd take that whatsoever. And Wayne says he won't leave. He gets a free fee here. There you go. There you go. Whether Iwobi would leave or not, I don't see West Ham. I don't see Crystal Palace taking that transfer whatsoever. So yeah, listen, it's a big game. It's a big game for us tomorrow. There's not a lot really to talk about with this game because, you know, Everton, ultimately on paper, you look at it and you think, right, okay, this should be quite a straightforward victory for Everton. We're playing a side that are newly promoted, that struggled in the first week, and if we are going to have any aspiration of finishing in the top 6 or even challenging for the top 6, these are the games that we need to be going out there and winning comfortably. Now, that's easier said than done, of course, in the Premier League, and like I said, the attitude is a big part of that, and Carlo Ancelotti said today, the team spirit is a big part of that as well. Look, we need to win the midfield battle, of course, we already know that. We need to be clinical going forward, we already know that, but I'm confident that with Allen, with Abdoulaye Doucouré, with James Rodriguez, with Andre Gomez in good form, I'm confident that we can win that and will win that midfield battle. Obviously, with Dominic Calvert-Lewin getting that goal and gaining a load of confidence, I'm confident that we'll do well up front as well. Richarlison, of course, I'm expecting a big performance from Richarlison. I'm expecting a positive performance from Richarlison as well. But it's important that we go in with the right attitude, and it's important that we go into this game with the right mentality, and we're not just sort of going in thinking, right, okay, these are the poor result last week, they're not that great, so we'll beat them quite comfortably. We need to go in with the mindset of, right, okay, these could turn around and put in a worldly performance today because they want to bounce back, so we need to be prepared for that. We need to not make any stupid mistakes, be comfortable with the ball, control the ball, break when we can break, and be clinical. This is an important, factor for Everton tomorrow, because we saw what a lack of clinicalness, that a word, what a lack of being not being clinical enough. We saw what that done on Wednesday against Salford City. You know, we won the game 3-0, but we didn't score our second goal until the final 10 or 15 minutes of the game, and that really hurt us, because from the opening 10 minutes, from the 8th minute or whatever it was after we scored the first goal to the 75th, 80th minute when we scored the second goal, there was a lot of frustration amongst Evertonians, because we knew we were comfortably controlling the game, we knew we were more than likely going to win the game, but we wanted to just go and kill it off. We wanted to just win the game comfortably, kill it off, and then sort of get to 2 or 3-0 and then calm down a little bit then, and then play the last 30-25 minutes just sort of relaxed. And that is a big thing that's going to be a part of tomorrow's game, as well as being able to go out there, not only stay calm and like I said, be comfortable with the ball, but when we get the opportunities, take them, be clinical up front. With Richarlison, I don't want to see Richarlison putting 3 opportunities wide again. I want to see Richarlison being on the score sheet. I want to see him getting involved in the goals. I want to see Dominic Calvert-Lewin back in with the goals. I want to see James Rodriguez getting involved as well. We need to be clinical going forward, because this is a game where we probably are going to have a fair share of chances, and West Brom will come at us, and they'll probably again try and break us down, and they'll probably try and hit us on the counter attack and hit us when we're least expecting it. But this is a game where we're probably going to have a lot of opportunities, and it's important that we take those opportunities, because ultimately you look at the Salford game on Wednesday, we could have won that 7 or 8-0, and then people wouldn't have been talking about how it wasn't that great of a performance. We could have beat Spurs 3 or 4-0, and that would have been a magnificent result. It was a magnificent result anyway, but it'd have been even grander. Let's go out tomorrow and not... what I don't want to do is at the end of tomorrow... Listen, if we win tomorrow, I'm not asked if we win 1-0 and it comes off someone's arse in the last minute, or we win 8-0 and we absolutely dominate them. As long as we win that game of football, I don't mind. But I would absolutely love... How brilliant would it be to come out of tomorrow's game and go, you know what? every opportunity we had there, we scored and we made the most of it, or, you know, we at least threatened them. Or we could have won by another 4 or 5 there. It would have been a bit more clinical. How fantastic would it be to say, you know what, we were absolutely shit hot in front of goal today. Everything that we had, everything that we got, we buried and we made the most of. And I just hope that we can come out the game. Like I said, if we win it, no matter in which way we win it, as long as we win, that's all I'm after about. Ultimately, it's all right sitting down and talking about the game and dissecting the game into what we should do and what we can't do. As long as we win this game, I don't care. I honestly don't care as long as we get the 3 points. But it would be nice to go out there and like I said, be clinical enough up front to go out and just sort of comfortably win the game, because that's what we all want, don't we? Let's get back into the live comments then before we finish up. Wormy says Toshin and Sandro have to go. Toothy says Delph needs to go, keep Besic. I'd sell them both, mate. He says Besic is a bit of a weird one. Puts in 110% every time he plays, but he's just not good enough. Toothy says keep Gabaman, obviously, and send Beningame out on loan. Spot says, do you think Delph will be on the bench now that he's fit? No, just don't see a place for him. Stewie says, alright Cam, happy Friday everyone, thank you very much Stewie. Toothy says, where did you hear Delph's fit? Well, I didn't. Carlo Ancelotti said in the pre-game press conference today that other than Branthwaite, Holgate, and of course we're assuming John Philip Gabaman as well, everybody else is fit, so I'm assuming Delph's fit as well. Wayne says Delph isn't even fit when he is. Toothy says he has a funny stomach. Carl says, I heard Diego Jota grew up an Everton fan would be a possible sign. And yes, he did. He grew up admiring Everton Football Club, he said, and, you know, he loved watching us when he was growing up as a young footballer. Apparently Liverpool have been linked with him today, which is just a bit of a mad one, considering they've apparently got an amazing striker, even though he's shit, but they all say he's amazing. But yeah, he did grow up an Everton fan, and he seems to have fallen out of favour with Nuno at Wolves, so maybe we could go in for him, I don't know. Toothy says, I think Gabaman is expected to be fit in 2 months at least, yet still a long time out for Gabaman. Paul says, we just need to go one game at a time, we're still a work in progress. In Carlo, we trust. You're spot on. Philip says, did Jota just sign for the shite? No, he hasn't officially signed. I think they're interested in him. Reece says, I agree, Paul, this team is far from perfect, but we're going in the right direction. Spot on. Jab says, what we have to remember about West Brom is they sit back. Remember the 4-0 defeat at home by them a few years ago. You're spot on. They will sit back and they will be defensive, and that's why when we get the opportunities, we have to make the most of them. Christian says, cheers for making good videos. Cam, thank you very much, Christian. Really do appreciate that. He says, I'm very excited for Andre Gomez this season, playing a more attacking role. I think he'll grab a few goals and assists. Spot on, mate. Couldn't agree more with you. Reece says, I'm off, guys. Going for a meal with my family. Stay safe. Thank you very much, Reece. Enjoy your meal. I hope it is fantastic. Philip says, clinch to you later, Reece. Emirates says, does he have a Patreon? I don't have a Patreon. Listen, it's something that I've been thinking about a lot recently, but I don't actually have one at the moment. If you'd be interested in that, then let me know and I'll have a look into it. Philip says no. Lavrid says this is important because it's the backup game. Too many times we won the big one and capitulated next game, even games past the derbies. Yeah, and then it says thank you, and Lavrid says well games after the derby victory. Yeah, you're spot on. Lavrid, again, this is a game that, don't get me wrong, I'm confident for and I'm excited for, but I just hope we go out and do the business. If we go out and do the business tomorrow and we win comfortably, then I can sit back and go, right, okay, we've done it away from home against the top 6 side who, you know, we haven't beaten for a long time, and we've done it at home to a side that we should be beating. We've done it when we've expected to do it, and we've done it when we haven't been, when we haven't been expected to do it. So that's obviously the big thing for tomorrow, and hopefully we do go out and win the game. And Luke says, good afternoon, Cameron. How many goal contributions do you think Hammers will get this season? Keep up the quality content, mate. Thank you very much, mate. Really do appreciate the kind words. I think he'll be involved in at least 15-20 goals this season. I honestly do. And Lavert says even after the derby success, our success has not lasted in the next game. Very fair point. Very fair point. Anyway, I'm going to finish up the live stream there. If you have enjoyed it, please do hit that like button. Big thanks to everybody for watching live. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. A massive thank you for everybody for getting involved in the live comments. I really do appreciate it. If you're watching as a YouTube video, don't forget to leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section down below, and we will get involved with as many of them as possible. If you've enjoyed the live stream, please do share it. Let's try and get as many people involved as possible. Leave it a like if you have enjoyed as well. If you're new to the channel, please do subscribe. It does only take a second. Like I said, we'll have that weekly news roundup video going up a little bit later on today. It'll be up in around about an hour or so, probably less than that. So please do check that out. It's only about 15 minutes long and we go through all of the latest Everton news. Big game for Everton tomorrow. Massive opportunity for us to go out there and really stake our claim, and not only in the big games where, you know, we're up against it, but also in the games that we're expected to win as well. There's more pressure on Everton this week than there was last week, but Carlo Ancelotti rightly said in his press conference today, pressure just brings motivation, and we like the pressure. So big thanks for watching. Massive game for Everton tomorrow. Let's hope it's a positive result. Early kick-off, of course. We will be back tomorrow with the instant match reaction and the live game. Sorry, not the live game review, with the instant match reaction and the player ratings straight after the game. So don't forget to join us for those. We'll be giving my player ratings, we'll be giving my instant match reaction. Really do appreciate everybody. Herrera has donated $10 to the live stream. Thank you very much. I'd really like to know your first name, so I don't have to keep saying M, but thank you very much. He says, "You're great. Love from California." Thank you very much, mate. I really do appreciate that. Honestly, it means a massive amount to me. Big thanks to you. Big thanks to Paul for donating as well. And massive thanks to anybody that's watched, anybody that's liked, anybody that's subscribed. Big thanks for all of the support. Wayne says, "I'd support your Patreon." Thank you very much, Wayne. Really appreciate that. Liam says, "Nice one, Cam." Nice one, Liam. Wim says, "AKA guys, 4 o'clock tomorrow." Carl says, "Great team, Cam. Thank you very much. Really do appreciate that." Sportbot says, "By Cam, Toffee TV style." Wayne says, "Appreciate that, Cam. Thank you very much." Big thanks to Herrera for the live stream. Really do appreciate that one. Wimmy says, "Nice Herrera, spot on." Philip says, "Classy, Cam." And M says, "I was Russian." No worries at all, mate. No worries at all. Big thanks for that donation. Honestly, it means a massive amount to me. Anyway, that's going to do it for today's live stream. If you have enjoyed, please do hit that like button. It does only take a second. Big game for Everton tomorrow. Let's hope we can go out there and get a positive result. Like I said, join us for the instant match reaction and the game. And the player ratings after the game, straight after it. Big thanks for watching. Really do appreciate all of the support, and we'll see you soon on the Mighty Blues.